Welcome to Secure Insights, the podcast where you can hear about the latest cybersecurity issues, quick hacks, and trending IM products directly from the industry's top data security experts. Our host for today is Mike Crandall. Mike is the founder and current CEO of Digital Beachhead, a Veterans Administration certified, service disabled veterans owned small business that provides cybersecurity, information technology, and professional services located in Colorado. Mike is a graduate of Western Governors University with a Bachelor of Sciences in Information Technology Security as well as an MBA of Information Technology Management. Mike began his career in the United States Air Force, serving 12 years in Europe, where he was a leader in designing, securing, and managing the emerging technology of networks. His groundbreaking team developed the United States Air Force Barrier Reef Defense in Depth concept, introducing the idea of creating demilitarized zones within a network. Also, during his time in Europe, Mike helped champion, design, and implement the United States Air Force first ever Network Security and Operations Center NOSC at Ramstein Air Base, Germany. These principles were later adopted by United States Air Force wide and eventually by the entire Department of Defense. After his retirement from the military, Mike went to work for a large government contracting firm as their director of operations. He was responsible for over $30 million in contracts around the globe and increased margins by over 5% during his tenure. After 5 years at this company, Mike moved on to create his dream company, Digital Beachhead. The term Digital Beachhead was coined by Mike in 2005 on a military performance report and later used in 2008 by United States Deputy Secretary of Defense William J. Lynn in reference to an intrusion into Department of Defense information systems. Unlike traditional beachheads, which have a specific point of presence, the digital beachhead is everywhere information technology exists. Hello everyone. Welcome to Secure Insights. Today with us we have Mike from Digital Beachhead. Thank you, Mike, for joining our podcast discussion. Firstly, before we begin, how are things? How are you doing?
Doing well. Life is good and getting ready for the new year. It's
Great.
exciting times.
Great. It's the holiday season coming along and the new year is also around the corner. But today we are here to discuss about social engineering, right? Social engineering is a ticking time bomb, and we have seen various threats, various breaches led because of, social engineering attacks. So, firstly, before we get started, let's get down to the basics, right? For our audience who don't understand what social engineering is, can you please explain us what is social engineering and why is it a cybersecurity threat?
Yes, absolutely. So social engineering is using those technologies and techniques to use what I would like to say are better angels against us. The human flaws that we have to help, or there's an emergency or some sort of crisis that those other bad actors use to get us to take action when we might otherwise not.
Yep, I think that pretty much sums it up for our audience to understand what it is. But moving on, right? What are some common social engineering attacks? And can you share any stories that you have, right? That our audience might make, which will be helpful for our audience and in understanding what exactly and how does a social engineering attack unfold?
Yeah, the most common social engineering attack is a phishing email. You get the email and it's like earn a free cup of coffee by clicking here, or do you like kittens? And if you love kittens, click here. A common one that's been going around, especially this time of year when we think about Christmas time or the holidays, especially in the US. We had a client that before they were a client, the executive assistant to the CEO got an email saying, "We did really well this year. Our company did great. Please buy some Amazon gift cards, scratch off the numbers, and email them back to me." Little did she know it wasn't actually the CEO, it was a phishing email. And so she was being all secretive and quiet, trying to do the right thing and help out the CEO and give the people a great Christmas party with these Amazon gift cards. But they were actually scammed out of quite a bit of money.
Oh, that's a very interesting story that you tell us. I think we will also had instances of the Nigerian prince sending us over $1 million and that being
I'm still waiting. Should good. I'm still waiting for my $1 million to come through.
Yep. I think we'll all have seen phishing emails here or there in our inboxes. But what are some principles of social engineering attacks, right? For audience also to figure out that they're actually being phished and this is not actually a Amazon gift card voucher that you're receiving.
Some of the things that we like to say is definitely train your users. Your users are the first sensor on every network. So they're the ones that will receive those emails. So they need some consistent training, not just a once a year, this is what you should look out for, but some sort of monthly reoccurring training. And the users should be trained to look out for suspicious domains coming where the email's coming from. Of course, we always say bad spelling or things that look off within the email. We're getting the bad actors are getting better at that. They look very legit. So don't click the link in the email. If it's here's a free gift card, click here, go to Amazon and see if you received that gift card. Double check. And then double check with the source. Your CEO says you did a great job this time of year. Here's a gift card. Send an email and saying, did this come from you? Are you really giving us a gift card? Curiosity is my best defense against social engineering is be curious, be aware, and know that they're using your trusting nature against yourself. So kind of take that to heart.
I think yeah, trust plays an important factor here, and training for sure. I mean, security awareness training for employees should be regular and not just like for the sake of compliance and for regulation purposes you're doing that. But yeah, normally we feel that social engineering attacks are just phishing emails that you receive with some spelling mistakes, trying to win over your trust and get things right. But when we look at behind the scenes of how a social engineering attack happens, it's more sophisticated than what we think it is. What is your opinion of that, and what do you make of that?
I think originally we had those Nigerian prince emails. They were simple, they just went out to everyone. But they have gotten more sophisticated. We use HTML in our emails, meaning that it looks like a web page. So the links are hidden and you can just click on a button now. And that makes it more difficult because I can go out to a website, steal a bank's logo, and help create an email that looks very much like it came from the bank. Um, and they're getting smarter about how they spoof the emails, and that means make them look like they're coming from someone else, so it doesn't say at hacker.com. It actually looks like it's coming from a legitimate site to you. So there are numerous ways that the cyber criminals have increased their ability by just tweaking and getting a little bit more adept and changing what the emails are.
Yep. I think, yeah, we've seen very sophisticated attacks so far. I think people have moved on from the Nigerian prince, have gone on to better terms, so to use when trying to fish users here. But coming to organizations, right? Every organization has this problem of filtering these phishing emails. And what are some strategies that you advise organizations, right, when it comes to phishing attacks? And what are these strategies to prevent your organization from being a victim of these social engineering attacks?
Absolutely. There are some great toolkits, cybersecurity and email toolkits that will allow to an example, the CEO email being spoofed. If the email came from outside of your organization in looking like it's from your CEO would not be emailing from a network outside of your organization. So it could take those and say, that's not really your CEO. He sits inside your organization. The email won't be coming from external. It can look for known malicious links or bad software within the email. And a easy one that a lot of people don't use is actually removing HTML from your email, allowing only clear text so that you do get to see the actual links, and it might not be as visually appealing with all the buttons and things, but it will give you the true email that was sent to you.
Yeah, I think HTML is a very important factor here because we like our emails to be fancy, but I think we'll have to get over it and probably look at better ways so as to not be phished. But in organizations, right, we also have many people being fished on a daily basis. Probably the count is very high for us to make sense of. But who is usually a victim of these social engineering attacks? Do you see a pattern, so to say, on who gets fished the most or easily, so to say?
Yeah, there are really three types of the phishing attacks. There's the general phishing, which they don't have a target audience. They just, here's a picture of a kitten. Someone might like a kitten. We hope someone will click. Then there's the spear phishing where I'm targeting you or your organization. So I've kind of given more information in myself about what you like or what your organization does. So I'm kind of tailoring it to you. And then there's the whale phishing where I'm going for the big senior targets. I would say there's no one specific person or personality type. We all can be fooled, and it really depends on how they fish you. If it's a general fish, you're going to miss 98% of the market. You know, people are just going to go, oh, that's a fish, or I don't know who that is. But they only need a few to make it profitable. On the spear fishing, I looked at you and I know who you are, and I have something tailored that I think you're going to like. So, and then the whale fishing is the similar to spear fishing, but it's just a bigger target.
Yep. I think that explains how attackers have also categorized people to make to get people fished easily, right? So they have now, I mean, build their own strategy, so to say, to get people fished and get access to their resources. But based on your experience, right, we've been hearing about phishing for a long time. It's been an issue that security teams and also organizations have been facing and trying to also solve for it using various solutions. But based on your experience, right, to what extent can these technical solutions or technical products that are in the market can help defend from these social engineering attacks?
I think they're a good percentage. The statistic now is something around 30 to 35% of phishing emails still get through. So training will always be critical, but simple math. If 35% get through with the technical controls in place, 100% get through without technical controls in place, which is a lot more phishing to deal with. It not only is a danger to someone actually biting on the fish, but also just taking up your email box and your bandwidth and your server space. So implementing tools is a good 3/4 to a little bit more percentage of securing your network.
Makes sense. I think, yeah, that is all great advice. And I think technical solutions are out there. It's just that how you make use of them and how do you implement them is the more important thing here. But how important, we've seen about phishing attacks, we've heard stories and we've discussed about it. But the main conclusion out of this is security awareness training is also important and part of solving this problem here, right? And can you tell us from your experience, right, with Digital Beachhead and working with other organizations, how important is security awareness training and when should organizations start investing in security training for their employees?
I would say start right away. It's very important. Um, One of the key elements of security awareness training is a lot of organizations either have it in their user document. Hi, you're an employee, read your workbook. In there, there's a blurb that says, please be secure. Don't click a fish. That's not really effective training. What you need to do is perform monthly, shorter, attention grabbing trainings instead of longer where people tune out and do it repetitively. So every month they get a new topic, a new little spin, and you can kind of gauge their interest and keep their interest. And then in concert with that, run your own phishing tests that if people fail, they go immediately to training as like a follow up. And the combination of those two really are what brings your employees kind of more aware. But in essence, if they're constantly getting little nuggets of training and they're kind of getting those little phishing tests, they're on not on the edge, but they're alert more towards these things happening. And it becomes almost like a game where they're like, you didn't catch me. I found your fish.
Yeah, I think gamification must help and does help in these scenarios, and probably it becomes like a cat and mouse game, right? Trying to not being the one getting fished through these internal trainings, but also avoiding these issues and being like the hero of the team, so to say. But yeah, I think that tells us the importance of security awareness training. But can you also tell us about Digital Beachhead and what do you do and what sort of security awareness training and other services you guys offer?
Thank you. Yeah, so Digital Beachhead, we focus on the virtual Chief Information Security Officer offerings, where we come in and kind of join your team to be your security guidepost, if you will, to help you set up your security strategies, with one focus of that security strategy being awareness training for your employees. And we set up, as I stated, the best way to do it, so we of course try to work that way, is setting up those monthly trainings on varied topics. They're not just phishing trainings. They are a variety of topics on cyber awareness, from understanding what a phishing email looks like to why you wouldn't want to give out your password or why strong passwords are important. So it's a big variety of training so people don't get bored or just think it's the same thing again and again. And then we run phishing tests on a variety of topics, from look at the kitten to there's an Amazon package at your doorstep. Please tell us why, we need you to pick it up, or we couldn't leave it, or, something like that. We tailor them for the companies. And our overall goal is to just help those small to mid-sized markets that really can't afford their own cybersecurity team build out a cyber program with the current IT folks they have.
Great. I think that's a great suite of services you offer for the segment that you're targeting. And I think a lot of listeners also probably might be interested in similar services, be it virtual CISO and also the security awareness training that you guys offer. But thank you, Mike. I think it was a great discussion where we discussed about social engineering attacks and security awareness training and how that can help organizations. Any parting thoughts before we end our podcast here?
Yeah, I think we like to say the path to cybersecurity starts with a conversation. So either talk to us or yourselves, but they should reach out and try to communicate and figure out what the next steps are for their organization.
Yep, definitely. I think communication and having a conversation around security is important these days because the holiday season is already here. We are enjoying our holidays, but hackers out there are looking to attack our servers and systems. So being proactive and making sure these systems that we have set in place do their job rightly so and keep our organization secure is very important. But yeah, on that note, thank you, Mike, for joining us. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. This has been Secure Insights, and we'll stay in touch and come up with a new episode sometime soon. But till then, take care. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for listening. This episode of Secure Insights is brought to you by Cenovate, where we empower security innovation for organizations. Catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and all other major platforms with interesting conversations and insights from top data security experts.